Hey everyone, this is Kim Quady with KimPlaysWithPaper.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mesa, Arizona, and I love to show you what's been going on in my craft room. Last month we held a challenge on our team, and we were making fall cards, and one of my team members posted this most awesome card sample, and she said she was inspired by Heidi Collins from On You Go Stamping. And I was so inspired by it that I decided to make my own. I changed it up a little bit. So I'm going to show that to you today. But first, let me show you what I'm going to be working with. First of all, it's the Gathering Moments dies, the large maple leaf from there. I just love that. I just love the large leaves. Making a Thanksgiving card. So I'm using Stampin' Up's Choose Happy stamp set. We have the Happy and the Thanksgiving, as well as a bunch of other really nice sentiments that you can build. I'm also giving you a sneak peek of a brand new product coming up November 4th, available to customers. It's called Lasting Linen, and it is a big background stamp. Really awesome. If you don't want to wait until November to get this for yourself, just get Stampin' Up's starter kit. There's a great join special going on in October. Pay $35 and choose $125 worth of product. So that's $90 worth of free product of your choice, and it's all shipped free. Ask me more if you have any questions. It's a no-brainer. If you're going to order 35, you might as well sign up and get the discount on later purchases. So that's those that I'm going to be using. I need to set that aside. I'm also using the Gathering Together 12 by 12 designer series paper. Used it in so many other projects. Let me just show you some of the pieces here, some of the designs. Loving what the fall and the masculine colors with that. Lots of leaves. I also love that it includes Cajun Craze, because that's one color I love to use, but I only take it out and use it in the fall. So I'm using that predominantly today. All right, here's the card. And what's great about this technique is that it makes two different cards. So here are the cards. I'm calling it the split die technique. If you know what this technique is actually called, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. But for now, that's what I'm going to call it. So let me just get started. Let's start with the 5 1/4 by 4 piece of designer series. Oh my goodness, a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white cardstock. You can see that it's white cardstock. Then I have strips of that Gathering Together 12 by 12 designer series paper. They're about 5 1/2 by 1/2 inch. They're a little longer than the paper, but then I will just be able to trim them off and get ready for them as a card front. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering too if it might be beneficial to use a Cajun Craze base like this, but I can experiment with that a little bit later. So what we need to do is apply glue, and you could use any adhesive you want, but this seemed to work well for me. And then you just start attaching your strips to your white cardstock, trying to match it up on the top. I do have my little pattern that I'm following that I like to, once I have the pattern, it's I can't change up the pattern. I have to keep going with that same pattern. So just put the strips on here one by one, kind of butting them up against each other. And this just, the designer series paper just makes it so awesome. The card that Heidi created was using strips of cardstock. So she used fall colors in her cardstock, and that worked really well too. I'm not going to finish this because you don't need to see me put all the strips on. You get the idea, except actually I'm almost finished. So maybe I'll just continue on putting those on there. I do have another one all ready to go so that we can just jump right in. Then this one will get a little chance to set up with that glue for a little bit. And I'll be able to make a couple more cards. All right, so there's the one that I've done previously. You can see I do need to trim the edges because I am going to use this as a base. So I'll just gently trim those off with my scissor. You have all those little pieces. All right. Then what we need to do, let me move some of the other, I've got all my things out here ready to stamp, but we are going to need the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So let's bring that in real quick. I have my base, my 2 plate, and 2 other little plates. And I'm going to put my die, see if you can see that, right in the middle of my paper. You could put it on an angle. I do see I have a little white sticking out of that spot at the bottom, but you know, I probably need to trim that off. We'll do that after I've die cut. I'm going to put just a little bit of washi tape here. This kind of just gives you an idea of how this technique works. It will be fun you can experiment with different dies, different papers. And I'm just gonna go one more round through because I do have a couple of layers. All right, let me move that out of the way and we'll grab our plates here. Tear this off. Be gentle with the washi tape. All right. And then I have those 2 pieces, but I want to keep those 2 pieces together. I do need my trimmer for this next step. I want to cut this right down the middle as best I can. I'm going to aim for this top leaf, and I am going to be off just a little bit with the bottom, but it turns out different every time you do it. So just go with it. So I have those 2 pieces. All right. Let's just set those out of the way up here because we need to do a quick little bit of stamping first. If you can see this in the camera, that little background there is from the Lasting Linen Big Background Stamp. And here it is. It's photopolymer. We are Stampin' Up! Is now moving exclusively to photopolymer stamps. So the backgrounds typically have been in the red rubber. But I'm loving this because I can see exactly where I need to stamp. So I'm just, with my Cajun Craze ink, with these great big stamps, I like to put the ink on from the top. It helps me get the ink on a little bit better. And now I remember when I had the big red rubber, I wasn't sure if I had my whole paper covered, but here I can see right through where my paper is. I can use my grid paper to line that up. So, yeah, like that a lot. All right, give it a good press. And as I mentioned, this makes 2 cards, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of those. While I have the ink out, I might as well do all of that. And that just comes right off. And there's that one. That's a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of Cajun Craze cardstock. Get that all inked up. And stamp that. If you have a stamp positioning tool, this might be a good one for that too, because it is kind of big and a little, if you have issues, hands cramping and so on. All right. And we have another one all ready to go. There we go. All right. So that's the lasting linen. Love that. I can see me using that a lot in coming stamps. And of course, I forgot to trim that little piece off of white, so I'm going to do that. One of my sheets must have been not quite a 1/2 inch strip, because it should have covered the whole paper. In the couple of the others that I made, the strips actually came off the page. All right, so now this is the fun part. This is how you see it go together. So we're going to take the solid piece from that leaf and put it here. And then we're going to take the leaf image from here and set it here. So that's how we have our leaf image. So let's go ahead and maybe put some glue on the back. You could use any adhesive that you want. This is a new bottle, so it's kind of coming out fast on me. I always have a love-hate relationship with glue. I don't know about you. So there's the top, and I'm just going to place that there, and then we'll put glue on the leaf. Stamp and Seal works well too. I used that on the other. Try to get that stem there. Fun. Isn't that just super fun? And then we can get 2 cards out of that. So you can see that leaf. So then we just do the opposite for this one. Watch me work here. I was thinking the ornamental Christmas stamp set has those ornaments in it. And I thought, oh, that would be really, really fun technique to use with those. And there are some Christmas tree stamps in my stash that I know would work well for this technique too. But now I'm just so happy because I'm going to be able to get a whole bunch of Thanksgiving cards in the mail. So I'm excited about that. Sometimes we don't do a lot of Thanksgiving cards, but when I first started stamping, I sent cards for every occasion. I just loved to get those cards in the mail. All right. And then we have our Cajun Craze base, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. I'll fold that. Give it a good burnish with a bone folder. And then the either one can go on the top there. I'm running out of my Seal Plus, so we'll see when that happens. Oh, I have a little bit left. Okie doke. And that goes just right on my card front. And all right. Next is the sentiment, the Happy Thanksgiving from the Choose Happy. I have a little piece of white that is die cut from the Textured Notes dies. Again, my Cajun Craze ink. Just ink that up just a little bit. Practice off on my paper on the side there. I can use the mat for that, but I'm kind of messy and I don't want to get ink everywhere. I'm sure I'm not the only one. All right, that will work. I'll come back and do 2 of those. Another one for the other card. I did add a little bit of linen thread. I'll just grab a little bit of this. Probably 10 to 12 inches. Put a little bit of Stamp and Seal on the back of that. And just, you can make, I just roll that around my fingers, kind of making a messy figure 8 with that. Just gives a little bit of texture to that card. And then we got dimensionals. The linen thread is perfect for fall. The linen thread is one of my absolute go-to products. It's affordable. There's a lot of it, and it's just really versatile. Okay, and then you can just place that anywhere you'd like. Kind of give that a clip and a clip, and it doesn't really matter how you put that on there. All right, and then of course I have to have my bling. I have the Cajun Craze and gold dots. I am going to use the very smallest. There are three sizes of those, so I'll just grab one and stick one on each side of that sentiment. You could also put them around the outside, and then you have you can go ahead and put a piece on the inside so that you can write a message. And then so I will next start making that card with my Happy Thanksgiving from the Choose Happy. And so I'll have 2 cards. What do you guys think? Do you love that technique? Can you think of other things you could use this for? Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you like it, love it, feel free to share it. I'm happy to help. If you run into any questions, I want to see the measurements, check out my blog at kimplayswithpaper.com or send me a message. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Until next time, happy stamping. Bye-bye.